That's how I think about owning from a distance. And now for me, it was really about anchoring in those cities. I've learned, and now I'm passing on this information to you. Unless you have the right people on the ground, I don't encourage you to buy from a distance.
Wake up, it's time to be free. Wake up, was blind, now I see. Wake up, it's time to be me. Wake up, my mind is the key.
Wake up, it's time to be me. Wake up, my mind is the key.
Welcome. It's Jullien Gordon here with another episode of the Daily Jules, where I drop nuggets of wisdom to help you increase your degrees of freedom. I don't care how many college degrees you have. The only degree that really matters is your degree of freedom. Doesn't matter how much money you make. What really matters is how you make money. So today we got a great question from Brandon, and Brandon asked, can you speak on buying properties outside of where you live? This is a great question and very timely because this week I just did a 36-hour round trip to New Orleans to check in on two of my properties, one that I just saw for the first time with my own eyes. And really the only way that I found so I think it was glorified in my mind of what it would be like to own property in a different city than I actually live in. And now that I have two in New Orleans and one in Oakland, I realize how challenging it actually is unless you have the right people on the ground. So in New Orleans, I have a good friend who actually introduced me to the real estate market there. His name is Lawless Turner, and I can put you in contact with him. And then the real estate agent, Jocelyn Frank. And they were my eyes and ears on the ground. They were pounding the pavement for me. Lawless also has a construction company. So all the fixes and changes that I needed to the houses after I got them, he has a team that has been managing that process. The same thing in Oakland. I bought the home in Oakland with my best friend, and his cousin is actually an agent and a property manager. And he has just been able to do everything for us, from getting the home cleaned by a cleaning lady or a cleaning man, doesn't matter, reglazing the tub, being there for the Section 8 approvals and things of that nature. And then New Orleans, Lawless has been there for construction of stairs, laying down of wood floors in the attic, taping and floating the walls, painting, running to Home Depot and Lowe's, receiving packages that I send and things of that nature. He's been there to do all of that. And so without those two people on the ground, I don't know how this would be possible to actually own property from a distance. Again, I glorified it in my mind. I thought that it would be easy. But even here in Brooklyn, where I own this home here, I recognize how much stuff I have to do to upkeep this home, to connect with, make sure that the people who are living here are taken care of. And it just didn't cross my mind that it would be even more challenging to do it from a distance. I don't regret the decisions that I made, but you definitely need to budget for a property manager, someone there to sweep and do the gardening. You need to budget for those things because you won't be there to do them, right? So in your cash flow analysis, meaning how much you're getting in rents minus the mortgage, minus utilities if you pay those, and other things, you have to budget for another human being or a company that's actually going to support you in upkeeping that particular place. It's not just going to take care of itself, right? Having a house is like having another kid. My wife and I, we had our daughter and we had our house around the same time, and it was like having twins, right? I'm sitting here taking care of the house, she's here taking care of the baby, right? So you have to have the right eyes and ears on the ground. When I moved to New Orleans, Lawless and I are going to partner. And for those of you who want to move there and who want to invest there, we're going to create a vehicle for you to do that, even if you're doing it from a distance. I ultimately want as many of us to be there as we can, but that may be challenging, and everybody has different timelines. But the reason I've chose New Orleans, especially coming from Brooklyn, one, the housing prices are at an all-time high. I just saw a news report that they went up 9% this year. On top of that, now is just an interesting time to buy something in New York. You need $1 million, right? Or you need to be able to get financed for $1 million. So New Orleans, for me, you can get a duplex there for like 250,000. And the reason I like duplexes, like I said before, is that usually with a duplex at $250,000, one side of the duplex pays for the mortgage and the other side is actually cash flow. Now, if you can get a triplex or a fourplex or something bigger, then go for it. Because ultimately, I think the most profitable form of multifamily is actually when you have a apartment building with 20 plus units, where you can actually have a full-time super living in one of the units. And then you pay them additional 20, 30 to handle. So they're living rent free, and then you pay them another 20, 30 to actually manage everything for you. That's where you start to be, that's where real estate starts to be passive income. I call real estate semi-passive income, right? Because you still have to do stuff, right? I still have to call the electricity company. I still got to deal with the city. I still got to do this. I got to do that, right? I got to go to Hano or HUD in order to do the Section 8 paperwork. I have to sign off on that. Nobody else can do that for me. So for me, at this point, real estate is semi-passive income. In order for it to be truly passive, you have to have a big enough space where the rents and the cash flow afford you enough to give one unit to a super or a property manager who lives on site, who can take care of all of this stuff with only calling you for emergencies. So that's how I think about owning from a distance. And now for me, it was really about anchoring in those cities. I've learned, and now I'm passing on this information to you. Unless you have the right people on the ground, I don't encourage you to buy from a distance unless you have the right people, the right team on the ground. So the team is property manager, real estate agent, construction. Those are the primary three, and even banks, right? Having a local bank if you're going to go that way rather than one of these national banks, having the right financing nearby. Those would be the four members of your team that you need to actually invest at a distance. Okay, cool. So I hope that this episode blessed you. I can't wait to see you get your first income property. I don't consider myself a real estate mogul. It's just an investment strategy that I use when I have excess cash flow from my business and I don't know where to pour it or how to reinvest it in the business yet. This is where I tend to put my money. Again, I bought 3 duplexes at the age of 35 because I know that by the age of 65, even though I don't have plans of retiring, all of those mortgages will be done and paid off, and then that will be pure cash flow. As I age, as I can't travel as much, I can't speak as much, whatever it is, I know that my family will be taken care of. Most entrepreneurs out there, they don't have any retirement plan whatsoever. They're just trying to make enough to cover the bills each month. But then there'll come a day where you can't do what you used to do anymore. There's some younger cats who are doing it way better than you, right? Leveraging technology that you have been afraid of. And so at that point, you want to have assets that are actually paying you, that are semi-passive, that don't require time, right? Don't require time. My real estate, I have to invest, with the exception of this 36-hour trip that I did this week, I don't have to invest that much time into them each week. The biggest chunk of time is when you actually buy it at first, and you're working with the contractors and the property manager, et cetera, to get it ready to be rented. But after that, it's pretty semi-passive, and I might have to dedicate 1 or 2 hours a week to making sure everything is sound. All right. So I hope that this episode blesses you. I can't wait to see you get your first rental property. But again, make sure you have your team on the ground first before you actually invest from a distance. All right. This is Jullien Gordon with another episode of the Daily Jules, and I appreciate you, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Peace.
I hope these mindsets, metaphors, and methodologies blessed you. If you desire more freedom, go to getfreenow.com to subscribe to the show on iTunes, YouTube, or Facebook, and get 4 of my best courses in the Freedom School for 100% free. I hope these mindsets, metaphors, and methodologies blessed you. If you desire more freedom, go to getfreenow.com to subscribe to the show on iTunes, YouTube, or Facebook, and get 4 of my best courses in the Freedom School for 100% free.